Trends and templates and custom GPTs that promise to help you write emails or Instagram posts are everywhere. And honestly, they look like the answer to everything. They make content feel easier and faster, so you can move on to any other of the many, many things that plague your to-do list. But it also makes your content feel emptier. So before you hop on the next trending audio or buy another set of Canva templates or grab that free custom GPT that will write your emails for you, there are 3 questions you should be asking yourself before you buy or download or use any of these things. Welcome to Mompreneur Mastery. I'm your host, Sydney O'Brien, an Instagram strategist turned content and messaging strategist after watching the online space get louder, buyers take longer, and content turn into a performance instead of real connection. On this podcast, you'll learn how to clarify your message so your content actually stands out in a sea of copy and paste trends and AI noise, and also how to strategize your content across platforms to build the trust and connection that turns followers into clients, all in doable, brain space saving episodes you can fit in between school pickup and reheating your coffee for the 3rd time. Let's dive in. I promise you, I get it. I am not here to tell you to stop using templates or trends. I use both when they fit into my plan. That's really the key part here, because so often we see and we use these as a whole strategy instead of just the small tool that they are. Now, I love me a tool. I love it. Anything that saves me time, I am all for it. But if we're saving time, but still sacrificing that connection, that trust that gets us those conversions that our business needs to be able to run, it's not worth saving the time. It's not. And when you're so tired, as I'm sure a lot of us are with daylight savings ending, oh my gosh, that is definitely not my favorite. And you're also trying to stay consistent and keep on top of your schedule and your kids' schedule and the schools and the sports and the sick days and Spirit Week and oh my gosh, all the things, right? Something simple as like a custom GPT that promises it'll write you your weekly emails in like 10 minutes. Why would you not want that? I get it 110%. Or, not even those kind of content templates like that. Even if you're using like templates in Canva, or I even just recently joined a membership for Canva templates, and there are ways I choose which ones I'm going to use and which ones I'm not. But that's what I want to get into. But I really wanted to start by saying I 110% understand why we are drawn to these things. And I am definitely not saying they're wrong or we shouldn't be using them, but I don't want us to over rely on them to the point that they're not giving us the help that we think they are, more so than just, being able to check these things off our to-do list. We want to save time, but we also want it to be effective. My goal is always to save as much time as possible without sacrificing whatever my end goal is for that thing, sales, whatever kind of effectiveness I need from it, right? So that is where these 3 questions come in. We are fine with taking shortcuts, but we want to make sure they still get us to that ultimate destination. And these are the questions that help me do that. So I want to share them with you so they can help you do that as well. Question number 1, does this support my messaging? And again, this is either for like a plug and play, like Mad Libs type of template for an email or an Instagram post or a hook, a post prompt, or a Canva template, or even just like a trend that everyone and their mom is hopping on Instagram. Like, I don't know about you, but my feed is full of Taylor Swift trends right now. And this is a great way to figure out if you should hop on that. So like I said, ask yourself, does this support my messaging? And if you're not sure, think about if this trend reinforces what you stand for. Will your audience immediately know that it sounds like you, that it's coming from you? Can you use this trend in a way that still shows your mission, your values, your positioning on the offer you're promoting? Your messaging is going to kind of change depending on what part of your content strategy you're at, but overall, it has to be like on brand for you, right? And it's not just the words, it's the tone, it's the visuals, it's the beliefs behind it. There's a lot more to messaging than just the words. So think about the overall goal of the trend, what it's saying, how it's being portrayed, and if that aligns with your brand, your mission, your values, and whatever it is you're currently talking about in your content. Because trends can amplify your message, but they cannot create a message for you. You need to have that consistency in your messaging to be able to build trust with your audience. When we have time to create content, we want to make sure it's effective. We don't want to just hop on random trends for the sake of hopping on trends. All right. And if it fits your messaging, move on to question 2. Does this fit into my content plan or strategy? Not every idea fits right now. Strategy is what is going to decide the timing, the purpose, and like just the overall alignment with all of these things. You don't want to post like a hard sell if your audience isn't engaging, or throw out a connection post in the middle of a launch. You want to do things more according to your marketing plan, not just what's trending. It confuses your audience, and a confused mind doesn't buy. So ask yourself, where does this fall in my buyer journey? Does it align with what I'm focusing on already in this week or month, or however it is that you're planning your content? And you can save a good idea for later if it doesn't fit right now. That's fine. This keeps your marketing cohesive instead of chaotic. And if it fits in your current goal for your marketing right now, one more question to make sure this is a good thing to use or to post. Question number 3, can I make this mine? If this doesn't look like you, sound like you, or feel like you, it's not ready to be published or sent. This is how you kind of protect your brand in a sea of sameness that we are seeing all over the internet, because people aren't taking the time to ask themselves these questions or to alter the templates or trends to make it more in line with their messaging, their brand, and their voice. So if you're using a plug and play template, say for a post or an email, are you customizing it beyond just filling in the blanks like it's a Mad Libs? Because you need to. If you're using like a Canva template, are you adding your own brand colors and your visuals and updating the words so they match how you speak? If you're using a custom GPT that you got from someone, are you making sure you're going through and thoroughly editing it to make sure it's your voice and doesn't sound like any and every other piece of AI content out there on the internet right now? These things make a big difference. And if you find a trend or a template that you can answer yes to all of these questions, I would say absolutely go for it. But if not, lean a little bit more into your own creativity. I know you're stressed, and sometimes it feels like you don't even know where to start. But I promise you, you already have really great ideas. You just need to trust yourself that there are people out there who want to hear it, even if it's not on trend or isn't the perfect hook that everyone says is going to go super viral or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, people want to hear from you. They followed you. They signed up for your email list. They want to hear your thoughts, not another random trend that 10 other million people have done. Do not be afraid to make things your own or to just write on your own. Of course, copywriting exists and messaging needs to happen, but I already know you're a really creative person because you somehow are managing to run a business and be a parent at the same time. And that is no easy task. And that is not something that just anyone can do. So when you're either using a template or hopping on a trend, make it your own. And if you're not, I know you're creative enough to find ways to get all the things you need to done. I know that you're creative enough to come up with some really great content to share with your audience, who is always excited to hear from you. I don't want you to feel like you have to do everything on your own. Like, certainly lean into these tools. That's why they exist. But remember, it's just a tool and not the whole strategy. Like, I recently joined a Canva template membership. I'll link it in the show notes if you're interested. It's like ridiculously affordable for how much you get for it. And I don't use all of the templates in there. Some of them are trending and I will hop on them if, I can run it through these 3 questions and it's a yes for everyone. But it can save you some time, some of that mental energy of what do I do? What do I post? If, again, it's easy to make it your own, if it fits into your content plan you already have, and if it supports your current messaging. So again, I'll link to that in the show notes. It's from the Holler Academy. And if the thing you need help with is your messaging or that content plan in general, come hang out with us inside Content to Clients. That's where we build that foundation, that messaging, that your marketing just really needs to have for it to be effective at all. And then, of course, the content plan that guides people down the buyer journey so they actually turn into clients. And that's very much custom to you, not a form content plan I hand out to everyone in the membership. It's something we work on together to make sure it fits for your business and your schedule and your life. And then once you have those pieces, you'll know I'm always there to review posts, help you draft them, any of that. I'll link to the membership in the show notes as well. But thank you so much for listening. I would love it if you shared this podcast with another mom business owner friend who might be in the thick of it and could use some help right now. And feel free to send me a DM on Instagram and let me know your thoughts on trends and templates. I have been getting lots of messages when I send emails to my list about this, so I'm wondering what my listeners think about it. My handle is at sydneyobrien.co. That's it for this episode of Mompreneur Mastery. If you're building a business around your life, not the other way around, and you're tired of being told to hustle harder to make sales when you're already hustling at 110%, I hope this gave you a breath of fresh air. And if it did, I would love it if you left a quick review or shared this with another mom entrepreneur who is ready to market with more strategy and way less stress. And if you want to see what a cohesive content map across multiple platforms with strategic messaging looks like, check out the link in the show notes to grab your free copy of the Buyer Journey Content Map. I'll see you next time.